What's going on, everyone? We got Chris Mizo back in another video to be highlighted on because of what he said the other day. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have to get to you one day again. We're not gonna do another one real quick because we had other comments and other topics to really cover. As you know, we do a lot of that on this channel, but this is funny here because this guy really has the audacity to now say this. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have to highlight you again now on my channel. He says the Steam Machine might be the first PC console hybrid that scares PlayStation, Xbox, and Switch 2. Ah, bro, why are we doing this again? Guys, we're going to have to soccer bopper him. You know, if you've been around long enough for that, you know. How do you think that is going to be possible? Xbox, sure, but even then, PlayStation and Switch 2 are totally out of the picture. Bro, Steam Deck, like this is the thing that I swear by, this is how they're just so delusional. Steam Deck has only sold 5 million in 5 years. Do you understand how much of a failure that is? If Xbox, Switch, or PlayStation did that on any generation for 5 years, dude, it's absolutely dog shit. I just want to say this, I'm sorry, but those sales are not anything impressive. They're actually failure oriented. Nintendo felt terrible that the Wii U sold 14 point something million consoles. No, actually ended up hitting 15. They've never done it historically. The Vita hit almost the same numbers, and that was deemed a massive failure. But somehow when the Steam Deck sells 5 million, Valve is amazing, and that the Steam Machine, which is going to be probably around $1,200 now, are you seeing those Steam Deck price increases, bro? Have you seen them? Why would Valve, with no exclusives, come into the industry, the console industry, right? Like space, you know, PC console, like coming into the console like space, threaten PlayStation with a $1,200 device that is weaker than a PS5. It's no different than the Steam Deck being almost $1,000, being weaker than the Switch 2, easy, like much weaker than the Switch 2. And I'm sitting here thinking, with what games too? What is there to be threatened about? What do you have that's going to threaten somebody? No, you should be saying that Valve's just going to extend their overpriced ecosystem with Nintendo-like methods, right? Because that's what they're doing. Everything they do, even look at that Steam controller, which I think is cool, but overpriced. Costs more than every other controller. But, oh, let's make up an excuse for that too. They can come do that because it's all okay. And Valve is the most friendliest company and everything's all okay. 500 million yacht. Yeah, ice in your face. What you gonna do about it? Pay me even more. $950, you simps. Give me my money. Where I go scuba diving and memeing you. It's like, come on, man. This is a pirate game here. It has the console simplicity people want. No. The simplicity of a console is turn it on and play it, not have all that PC stuff. But yeah, I mean, I still think Steam Machine's a cool product at $500. $600 because you're a console like PC, but your specs are 2020 specs. PlayStation 5 specifications were in 2020, but when did they make that? Before that, obviously, you can't make it in the same year you're launching, and they had to manufacture millions, and before that, send out dev kits and all that. So we're talking about those component costs, and those component parts were back in like, what, 2017 or something? 2018, you know what I mean? It's like, who are you going to be threatening? No, you should be ashamed that the Steam Deck is more expensive than the PS5 Pro, and that the Steam Machine is going to be a lot more expensive than the PS5 Pro. Wait till you see that 2 terabyte price. Bro, I don't even want to hear this. Console gamers want to break free and have PC gaming break free. Bro, you mean go to a worse prison with NVIDIA there, having 97% of the market domination, and Microsoft now moving to there because they can't do anything right? It's like, what do you mean? You're mad because the PS5 Pro has closed the gap significantly, and consoles are now closer to PC graphics more than ever, and people are starting to realize when they get their 60 frames per second, it doesn't matter at that point. Now you don't have Sony games anymore. You ain't getting Nintendo Switch 2 games. You can get Xbox games, yeah, because everybody can get in on Xbox. Cortana's going everywhere, bro, and it's just going to be riding on the go with Nintendo. What you going to do about it? Hey, man, I'm just saying, that's what's going to be happening. So, yeah, let's get some entertainment up in here going, because this clown here doesn't know what he's talking about. Why would Sony be scared of the Steam machine? It doesn't make any sense. Why would Nintendo be scared of the Steam machine? It doesn't make any sense. Bro, they sold 23 million in the first year, damn near. We're about to see these results. They're going to be nuts. You see their software dropping games yearly. Same thing with PlayStation. Xbox dropping years. Yeah, pretty much, but dropping games yearly too. Like, when I really think about what all three are actually doing for the gaming community, though, I think Xbox was the one that should be scared to be replaced by the Steam machine. If Valve had its senses together and would have said, okay, $600, $700 is pushing it big time. Because when you think about those consoles doing that, I'm a PC, so I can be this much more expensive, and you can still do this. You kind of get what I mean? Like, maybe you're somewhat in that. But now I'm like, if Microsoft actually drops the price of the Xbox, which I doubt they will, then it's not really so much a problem. Because if the Helix even is $1,200, which I think now with the price of everything, I think it's going to be like $1,500, maybe more than that. But if they find a way to get a model cheaper than that, and you see the Steam machine sitting there, and I'm like, nah, you're not going to even replace Xbox then. You know, hey, man, I'm just saying. Where is anybody scared at? You're not. Porter Rock, I like this because this is funny. He says, I think you're on drugs. I think so too. Orlando Velez says, Steam system scaring console since 2010, and they always flopped. Dude, Valve said it themselves that, and I want you guys to hear me out because this needs to be talked about. They would be happy, like through the roof, if the Steam machine, this is before the crazy RAM stuff. The prices were not going to be what they were now. This was last year they said this. Now I want to go bring it back up. They would be happy if the Steam machine could sell 10 million units lifetime. Keyword, lifetime. They're not coming into the console-like space in their head. We're not coming into the console space with a console-like product to subsidize and try to get like 30 or even 40 million, which I think that would be insane. If the Steam machine can do that, oh, Xbox is in insane trouble. If the Steam machine can do 20 million, Xbox is in trouble. 10 million? No. But what that means is that you're going to be selling more than them regardless because the series is dead till you get out the Helix, and that's not going to sell that much. That is going to be in the Steam Deck situation. Unless you have a cheaper model, like some Xbox Helix S. You see what I mean? And hey, this thing's like $700 or something, or 600. It's like, and the specs are really good. And I'm like, if I'm looking at the Helix S and they make Windows a lot better and more secure, and then I'm looking at the Steam machine and you got Steam on there and your specifications are insanely better, why would I bother? You know, it's like I was saying before. If I'm looking at the Switch 2 for $450, it's still $450 till September. Nintendo's the only one that didn't drop it right underneath you and pull the rug. And then I'm looking at all those exclusives, and then I'm looking at the Steam Deck, and then I'm taking a look at Valve, and I'm taking a look at Nintendo. I said, what the hell are you thinking? But of course, they're already at 20-something million sales. They have already times 5 your sales almost already in 1 year. Why would I even bother? I wouldn't. Orlando again says, aged like milk in a desert. D Plays Gaming says, console gamers want to break free and have PC gaming freedom. Break free by buying a non-upgradable PC, which is more or less than a Steam console, and have no freedom to play anti-cheat games cross-platform with Xbox, PlayStation gamers. Who is this? And have none of their exclusives? And have those old-ass specs? What are we talking about here? Come on, man. Yeah. This guy says, who says it's non-upgradable? If you can upgrade the RAM, that's nice. If you want to play games with anti-cheat, you can just dual boot Windows. I think the point of the Steam machine is the Proton DB and Linux. You know what I mean? I think it's nice to not deal with Microsoft's annoyingness. Battlemate says they need to make these bare bone builds. He says, hopefully Valve has thought of this option, especially for those who gain interest in upgrading modifications. Well, if you can upgrade the RAM on a Steam machine, it's not too bad considering it has RDNA 3, but not for $1,100, $1,200, even $1,000. It's like, hell no. And you're going to give me a 512 gigabyte for the base? Dude, the PS5 Pro has 18 gigabytes of RAM and a 2 terabyte and significantly more powerful. And it came out at 700. People were complaining about that. But you really gonna say something about that now? Look at that Steam Deck price. 2 terabytes, extra 2 gigabytes of RAM, PSSR 2 as well. And it has its own identity and exclusivity now, like only on PlayStation. We know this now. And a subscription market if you want to catch up on a bunch of stuff. Let me say, you have options. And they do the same deep discounts as Steam. And they have all the Xbox games. And Nintendo's like, I have all Nintendo games. I get some PlayStation games. I get most third-party games you're getting. I can go on the go, much more powerful than the Steam Deck, since you want to try to brag about that. And I get Xbox games too. The Call of Duty's coming. You see what I mean? It's like, yeah, no, it is. You got Tony Hawk. You got the Doom games. You got Indiana Jones. You see what I mean? No, all those games are there. They're there on Nintendo. They have Resident Evil. They have all those games. You see what I mean? The third-party games you thought they wouldn't get. It's there. It's fine. So for $450, and online is only $20 for an entire year. Whereas if you go to PlayStation, the difference is that you have a single-player premium advantage from a third-party standpoint, because I can play on PS5 Pro, PSSR 2 without needing to pay online and enjoy those. But if I want to play online, I'm like, let's say if Helldivers was on Switch 2, right? For PlayStation, now you got to pay $11 a month to play Helldivers online. On Switch 2, I've just paid $20 to pay for the whole entire year. That's the difference between Nintendo and PlayStation. It's going to be the same thing with Call of Duty. If you want to play Call of Duty online on PlayStation, and all you care about is 60 frames per second, and you have the Switch 2, you're like, man, I can get the Switch 2 version, and I spend this, but then I already got my online because I only paid $20 for the whole entire year. I can just play online all day. You can't really complain to me about that. It doesn't make any sense to me to complain about $20 and get cloud and all that and all those NES games. Dude, it's a steal. And they've never jacked the price up over 10 years. It's where you could tell that somebody else is more anti-consumer. Now, Valve wants you to pay 2 Nintendo Switches plus tax, because Nintendo Switch is $450 right now. So $450 times 2 is $900. The Steam Deck is still $50 more. You can go get almost 3 years of online with Nintendo Switch, because now you would be at $960. You want to talk about online complaining? Yeah, don't get me started. You see what I mean, man? That's why I say that. What are you really talking about then? That stuff means nothing. Now, let's say that I had to do 2 Nintendo Switches for you there. Let's say that you went to buy just a Switch 2 for $450. You can get those 3 years of online and all those exclusives. And now we're getting towards that range. Oh man, am I talking to you? So what are we talking about here? Sit down. You see what I mean? You don't know what you're talking about. You ain't got no freedom. I could be on the go doc. I got more freedom than you, and I got more games that you ain't never gonna get that are way better, that sell a lot more. You know, it's like, you can always reverse it. You see what I mean? We got Michael right here saying it gives important power target to PC gaming. We already have a baseline, and seeing as Switch 2 handheld targeted, it's honored as baseline in general. Plenty of new amazing games working on the deck. Smartphones plus FEX will probably aim at meeting deck performance too. Oh man, these guys are delusional, bro. I don't know what to tell you. All right, Mr. Vargas says nope, not at all. Also, in practice, it will not have console simplicity. Third-party launchers, tweaks will be required. More updates that sometimes will break games that then require more updates will be more common. For sure, it's not just straight up plug and play. Still PC. Weak hardware, 100%. DRM, 100%. No physical media, 100%. 100% overpriced, 100%. If anybody, it'll only scare Steam themselves. This is the best comment, and one of them that I've actually seen. He made it clear. DRM, weak specs, no physical media. Nintendo gives you physical, on the go, and docked. What are we talking about here? And it's not overpriced. And it's more powerful, and it has all those exclusives. I'm beating you with Nintendo and PlayStation. So where's the scaring at? And it's going to outsell you times 20. It's supposed to be threatened, right? This isn't even going to sell 5 million units. This is what I mean. I'm like, you're doing the same thing they did with the Steam Deck. I'm like, the only reason you exist is because of the shadow of Nintendo. And then you got people calling it the GameCube. Here we go again. But you're coming worse. But you're supposed to be all pro-consumer and all for the gamers. How? They're not subsidizing for you. They're not for you. They're for themselves. And they make more money than all the other employees in other gaming industries. Google employees, Microsoft employees, all of them, way more, not even close. So it's all privately for them. Private is good though, but what I mean is like, it's not about you like you think it is. There's some nice things that Steam does have, but you can't sit here and tell me that there's some like Jesus saints, some Saint Augustine or something. Like, no, man, I don't think so. So yeah, this guy says there's a lot of options falling into place to replace consoles. On Mac, you can already launch directly into Games app from a DualSense and navigate to local games. Yeah, actually you can. And launch into stuff like GeForce Now, Game Pass, and Asobi for full access to PC, Xbox, and PlayStation games. So you're on PlayStation, Xbox, have a library, and think about getting this. Can you play Call of Duty and GTA with friends on PlayStation, Xbox? I doubt it. With anti-cheat games. You're on PC and think about this. I'm on PC and think twice about buying non-upgradable PC. The Crap Gamer says, I'm a console gamer and want nothing to do with PC. The entire reason I play on console is to avoid multiplayer matches with PC cheaters on mouse and keyboard. You have more specs. Mouse and keyboard, though you can do that on there too, but still get 200 frames on a monitor, low MS, and still decide to cheat. Yeah, you're smart. Simple plug and play. I seriously doubt a Steam machine less powerful than current consoles entices console fans. It doesn't, because they're already tired of the prices in front of them. You mean to tell me you're going to come in front of them with a lot more when they say, man, the PS5 Pro is right there. When you start going into that ballpark, you see what I mean? Why not even bother with that? And people are attached to their libraries. Jared says, why would Xbox be scared if Helix runs Xbox and Steam games? We don't have prices for any of those devices yet unless the Steam machine severely undercuts Xbox. I have a feeling there would be SKUs at similar price points. Okay, sure. This guy says, keep in mind, Steam machine runs on Steam OS, not Windows, so not every game on Steam is going to be compatible. A good majority of them will, and I know Steam uses Proton. Exactly, which is the Windows compatibility layer, but it's not 100% guaranteed. My point exactly. So this guy, once again, is not making any sense. The only people backing him up are Steam fanboys. So we had to call this out. Let me know what you guys think. As usual, down below, become a member if you want. Leave a tip. You know, as usual, AGN giving you the intelligent balance here in these videos and some entertainment and energy. You know. But yeah, I mean, guys, game on whatever platform you want. But some of this stuff, you just got to call it out because I'm like, what are you talking about? Why would Sony or Nintendo be scared of the Steam machine? Xbox was the only one in that position to get replaced because they can't even sell 2 million consoles a year. So if Steam came out with the right price and they were selling like a couple million that year, then yeah, you're going to be bothered, even 1.5 million or 2, because they're right there next to you. And you can't even outsell the Switch 1, so that would put you in a 5th place. We're going to see what happens with the price of this machine. It's going to be interesting after seeing what happened with the Steam Deck. Let me know what you guys think once again in the comments below. Later.